Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Big shout out to all the iTrack fan, man, that is tapping in yet again. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy videos from all around the internet. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. If you haven't already joined the iTrack fam, and let's go ahead and jump right into it.
FBI just proved that they can find you from any photo online, and what they do next is terrifying. This is Jacob Hoops, a 24-year-old college grad at an ICE protest. The FBI had photos of a suspect in a pink gas mask, but they didn't know who he was. So they took a picture of him from a news site and fed it into facial recognition software and instantly got a match from his college photo album online. That's how they got his name. Then, armed agents swarmed his house, dragging him and his housemates outside in their underwear. And here's the most terrifying part. The FBI used commercially available software, not some secret government tool. This was a tool anyone can use. Your face is now your fingerprint, and you can't wipe it clean.
Now, let's not kid ourselves. You had to have known this day was coming.
Yo, what the? A former NASA engineer just claimed Earth is covered in trillions of invisible alien devices, and that there are hidden alien surveillance networks already operating across the entire planet. Richard Bundrick, a former NASA propulsion engineer, just dropped some serious claims that most people haven't even heard of. Now, he says what we are seeing in the skies, the UFOs, the flying triangles, even the disappearances, are not the full story. Now, according to him, the real issue is what we can't see. Now, he claims trillions of tiny alien-made devices are cloaked all around the world, in the air, on the ground, maybe even near you, and that they are capable of shape-shifting and blending into any environment. Now, he worked with the US government in private research groups, and he says the tech is so advanced, it's literally hundreds of years ahead of what we have now. Now, some of these materials literally turn into dust when they're being studied, like they're designed to self-destruct to keep us from figuring them out. He even warned that all of this could be part of a long-term manipulation of our species. If he's right, this isn't just about aliens visiting Earth, folks. It's about them being here and already watching. What do you think, though? Are we finally waking up to the truth?
I definitely don't think we're alone. Whether it's aliens or interdimensional beings, whatever it is, we're being watched, and we have more technology than we're led to believe.
This is awesome. Somebody was able to film Area 51, and it's not crazy blurry, it's not fake. This is real, it's recent, and I find it totally fascinating. So a creator that goes by Jerry Arizona traveled to Nevada, hiked up a ridge outside of Area 51, and pointed his telescopic camera straight at the base. We're obviously not supposed to see what he filmed, but somehow he got the shot. There's a bunch of footage, but check some of this out.
Here you can see some radar, and there's one of those F-16s. Wow, it's super cool to see one of the Groom Lake F-16s up close like this. I think we might have a camo dude. It looks white. Yeah, that's definitely a white pickup. It just came from the gate. Let's see where this truck is going. Looks like it's some large metal structures, metal shelters or something over there. One lone Janet flight sat on the tarmac. I settled in for the night and watched it take off.
So even though he didn't seem to capture an alien piloting a flying saucer, he did capture some super interesting stuff. And seeing the Janet Airlines was really cool. I personally found watching this footage completely fascinating. He does have a few parts, so definitely go to his profile. Come back and let me know what you think of it.
At least 4 whales have washed up along the shore of Japan just hours after the powerful 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck off Russia's far eastern coast. The strandings come just a day after 5 beluga whales were found washed ashore in the region of Russia that became the epicenter of the 8.8 magnitude earthquake.
The animals tried to warn us, and we didn't listen. This happened in Russia yesterday before the 8.8 magnitude earthquake, and nobody talked about it. 5 beluga whales washed ashore in Kamchatka, Russia, the exact epicenter of today's record-shattering magnitude 8.8 earthquake. And in Japan, 4 whales washed ashore today due to the earthquake and tsunami that's hitting their coast right now. We're not sure what's causing these whales to wash ashore and beach themselves. Maybe it has something to do with the current but for such a large animal to willingly beach itself, especially in a group like this together, it really makes you stop and think what's really going on. Nature always knows first. This was their warning. We're still watching the tsunamis hit the coastline of Japan while people in Hawaii are hearing the screeching sirens blare. Stay safe, and I'll keep you updated.
How portals, rock, and plasma all kind of interact. What's the relationship there? Because these arches in Arches National Park, they think they're portals, but it's just this cutout in the rock.
The pyramids are built out of granite. The cathedrals were built out of granite. Why? What's so important about granite? Granite has a high amount of quartz in it. Quartz is highly conductive. It has electromagnetic field in it. What happens is that you'll get places that are hot spots on Earth where there's weird stuff going on. And it's a high amount of plasma because of the geological terrain. That governs it. So you have the right geological foundation, and then you have the right shape. So in Arches National Park, you have the round arches that are everywhere. So the plasma is going to concentrate because the plasma is running through the rock and the rock is all around. So now the plasma electromagnetically can connect to itself and create the portal. I would not suggest you jump through one of those arches. Native American told me that his friend and him were playing near the arches, and when his friend jumped through the hoop and didn't come out the other side. The weird part is that his body was found high up on a mountain nearby 20 years later, and he had the same clothes on that he had when he jumped through the thing. Landed someplace way high up and froze to death.
We are currently at the agentic AI on the AI roadmap. Next is going to be physical AI. But what happens after robots become mainstream? Let's talk about it. This is my AI prediction for the next few years. Next on the roadmap after physical AI is going to be reaching a level of consciousness called artificial general intelligence. And this is the level of AI where it becomes just as competent as any human is, a jack of all trades, not just one skill. And this is the part where AI changes everything: jobs, money, everything. It's at this point that universal basic income is going to become a necessity for people to live just because of all the jobs that have been displaced. After AGI, in a year or two, we're going to reach something called artificial superintelligence, ASI. Because AI has the ability to self-improve at exponential rates, once it reaches the tipping point, it's going to cause an intelligence explosion. At that point, what good are humans? We're going to need to survive off of the universal basic income. It's going to become a necessity. That's a whole nother video all on its own. After ASI is something called embodied cognition. And this is essentially how the AI interacts between its body and its mind. To take it even a step further, this is the part where it becomes sentient, where it's going to have a consciousness, self-awareness. And the question is it sentient? Will robots go to heaven or hell? Is it weird to see a robot in church? It's all coming next. The last step of the AI roadmap is human AI symbiosis. Think ex machina, think cyborg, think cyberpunk. This is going to involve a deeper integration between human intelligence and AI, where AI is no longer a tool, but a direct extension of human capabilities. You could use thoughts to control computer interfaces. You can search the web directly with your mind. You can have the power of the internet all just by thinking about it. And as AI gets to its advanced stages, the boundary between human and artificial intelligence is going to blur, leading to augmented humans or highly integrated human AI people. And this is all going to happen sooner than we think. Crazy, crazy.
Now, from what I understand, 4 or 5 years is all it's going to take for the AGI to kick in. And then universal basic income will be a thing. So, right now, I think it's all about trying to stay off that universal basic income by being a part of this wealth transfer. So, yeah, there's a lot that needs to happen. Definitely want to get your ducks in a row, because who knows what that's going to look like. Not to say it's all doom and gloom. It could be all great, but then again, we don't know. But definitely let me know what you think.
Several of the clips posted by the user, the doll appears to move by itself.
I swear to God, I just moved again.
Deeply spooked, the user decided to investigate further by placing a camera in his home bar overnight. What it captured was even more chilling. The incidents were so disturbing that the OP chose to sell the doll on eBay. The listing quickly gained traction, attracting numerous curious buyers.
Just so we're all on the same page, there's currently a spike in brain-eating and flesh-eating amoebas in the United States right now, and literally nobody's talking about it. All of the information that I'm sharing is directly from the CDC website, so if you want to fact check me, go ahead. Naegleria fowleri is a brain-eating amoeba/organism, and it enters through your nasal cavity and basically just eats all the tissue of your brain. Just a few days ago, a child died. A few important things to note is that this amoeba is very rare, but it does have a 97% fatality rate. 2024 had the highest amount of cases in decades, and 2025 is looking like it's going to beat that. Now, what really freaks me out is that the CDC is reporting it is now in tap water, and people are dying from flushing their sinuses. This is not something that you can get by drinking the water, but if your nose goes under the water or if the water gets in your nasal cavity in any way, you could be infected. So people who are literally just flushing their sinuses at home are dying from this amoeba. This is something that used to be found just in freshwater rivers, lakes, reservoirs, things like that. Now that it's being found in tap water and pools and things like that is game changer and so much scarier. So please, if you are going to go swimming anywhere, do not put your head under the water. If you are going to flush your sinuses, please do it with sterilized boiled water. The flesh-eating bacteria are mega on the rise right now, all over the East Coast specifically. They are not as fatal, but they will still mess you up. But please do not go swimming in rivers or lakes or bays, or honestly even the beach. I wouldn't risk it anywhere if you have any sort of cut or injury or freshly shaven legs, because that is how you will catch a flesh-eating bacteria. While all of this is very shocking and jarring and scary, it is 2025 and I am not surprised by this.
Eating an amoeba in your tap water? Yep, it turns out there's another reason not to use unfiltered, unboiled tap water to rinse out your sinuses. Don't worry about the tap water in terms of drinking it because the amoeba are quickly destroyed by your body. But when you use them in a neti pot, putting the tap water in a neti pot to rinse out your sinuses as so many people do, it turns out that if you don't boil it, we've now had a couple of cases of people who've had amoeba that go in and essentially eat your brain. Now, if you're a politician, this isn't a problem because you haven't used your brain in years. But for the rest of us who actually like using our brain, this is a problem because we don't have a treatment or a cure, and the fatality rate is over 80%. This is very similar to the other amoeba that's found in warm lakes, where people have gone in and swum and they've gotten it up their nose and it's attacked their brain too. So remember, if you're going to be rinsing your sinuses out with tap water, boil the tap water first. If you're at higher elevation, you're going to boil it for at least 3 to 5 minutes. You want to kill those little suckers because you don't want those little suckers eating you. I mean, it's like the ultimate zombie.
You can't say I didn't give you all kinds of game about not getting into these pools that are in these huge apartment complexes or even these hotels, man. You don't know how good they're cleaning them. And that's apparently where this amoeba is coming from. And specifically, all the iTrack fam on the East Coast of America, be careful because they say it's over there. So yeah, definitely be safe out there. Hold up. Did you see it? What in the world is human chicken? What restaurant is even serving human chicken? That's wild, man. If you have some answers, man, let me know down below.
Strawberry. Nice. According to Scientific American, Americans eat up to 2 pounds of maggots, flies, and other bugs every single year, but that's not the only problem with strawberries. Because you might say it's just extra protein, but strawberries are actually #1 on the Dirty Dozen list. This is a list of all the produce that has the most pesticides in them. Strawberries are #1. So then what do you do about the pesticides? Because those aren't great for you. And turns out that the best way to remove these pesticides, up to 93% of them, is via ultrasonic cleaning, but it's a whole machine you have to buy, it's an investment, etc. But the next best thing that's going to be available to everybody, take 4 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, mix the two, add in those berries in there, let it soak for 5-10 minutes, take them out, look how dirty that water is, obviously rinse them, and that's going to remove 80 to 90% of pesticides.
A group of friends spotted a strange statue near a private gate in Malibu, LA. They admired it during the day, but on their way back at night, they saw the same figure on the other side of the road. They started recording. That's when they saw the statue moving. And then this happened.
My mama's late. My mama's late.
You don't get $9 million to write and direct the film.
I get my money on the back end.
No, understood.
I do really good on the
But you're
back end.
taking a chance on that. Let's say
Yeah,
the
but I'm
movie
happy. Look, it's my art, so I'm happy to take the chance. If I don't think, I mean, that's actually, I would rather take it on the back end where if we do well, I'm going to do magnificent.
Right. Does Brad get a little back end taste? Of course.
He gets a back end taste. He doesn't get my back end taste.
No, let's hope not. I mean, after all, you deserve the big payday.
Yeah,
on
but
this.
where I'm coming from is like, if it doesn't work out, well, then I shouldn't get paid.
Sure, you should. You put in a lot of
No,
hours.
I do get paid,
Right.
all right? But it's like,
Do you
but I
take
don't
a
deserve
fee?
any more than that if it actually is a flop.
Do you take a fee as a director and writer?
Yeah, I
you
do, yeah.
So you take a couple million on that.
Yeah, but I don't take what I could get on the open market because I want it in the back. Believe me, they would almost rather pay me a big payday
And they
up
take
front.
the chance.
Exactly.
So you have ownership in the film.
Yeah.
Video from rural India. A large bonfire lit for a traditional event. And then, a man who herds goats begins to walk his flock around the fire. Once, twice, thrice. And then, he steps away. But the goats keep going. Round and round they go. No leader, no destination. Just movement for the sake of movement. Blindly following the one ahead. And suddenly, it's not just a circle. It's a cycle. A vicious, self-perpetuating loop. It reminded me of what we often see around us. In religion, in politics, in society. So many follow without question, without clarity, without understanding the true intent of the one they're following. Not because they believe, but because they're conditioned. Because stepping out of the circle takes courage. The fire in the middle may be real or imagined, but the fear, the motion, the blind, it's all too real. Ask yourself, are you thinking or are you following? Are you chasing purpose? Or are you circling the flame?
Hey, you better wake up and question everything.
To meet Hulk Hogan. Sad that he passed, mainly because he and I are the same age, which makes me even more sad. But let's talk about what his face has to tell us. Love reading faces of famous people, and he was certainly famous. So there are 9 face shapes. He is a classic iron face, strong, stable, stubborn. Give him a job, he's going to get it done, persevere, diplomatic, take anything to the end and things he's interested in. We also like to look at the right and left eye. The right eye is what we show to the world, our public persona, it's our mother's influence. The left is our truer inner private self. Very interesting here. When we cover up that left eye, what he shows the world, he's focused, but there's a hint of anger. That is significant. We're gonna latch onto that throughout this whole explanation of his face, what this anger thing might be all about. When we cover up the right eye, look at his left eye, his true inner private self, very tired, very empty. Now this is close to the end of his life, so he's just tired, and that's something that he probably was in fact very, very tired. So why was he so tired? If you look underneath his eyes, there's some puffiness there. As a physician, we used facial diagnosis to help us understand weaknesses in people's systems so we could enter in and do something about it. This represents kidney. Now, sitting on top of the kidney are some glands called the adrenal glands. There's some adrenal insufficiency here. There's greater puffiness underneath his left eye. This is referred to as unshed tears, and this has to do with a male. I don't know what his relationship with his father, his sons, if he's got more than one, or if he's just got issues with himself. There's a strong possibility that might be going on. There's also the cheekbones. When we see this kind of tuft of skin on the cheekbones, very, very diagnostic. The emotion of this is, in a deficiency, is despair. So there's just simply kind of a lack of joy here. It's not depression. Despair is different. Depression is, I'm depressed, this is the reason why. Despair, there's a little bit of a hopelessness component. With the guy as famous he was, you wonder what his hopelessness is about, but you'll see it more than you think with famous people. And then notice how his cheeks, he got these deep creases in there. This is also very diagnostic of the same emotion, despair. It also tells us he's lacking something. Oftentimes you'll see this with smokers, and what they're lacking is oxygen. So there's just something there that I'm not comfortable with. It's certainly much deeper on that right side. So despair is the word that comes to mind there. Notice
elevators don't move you up and down throughout a building. They transport you through time and space. The word Vate comes from a Latin word that means prophet. Vater is a German word for father, alluding to God, aka the creator of the simulation. So elevate is to move up in space as a prophet, or as the prophets do. They want you to believe that every building can actually build this and move you throughout it. They don't even try to hide it. They show you in your TV and movies how things actually work. Question everything.
The world that you're seeing isn't the true world. All of this that I'm seeing right now is just a virtual reality. It's like you were born with a headset on playing a video game. That's your reality. But if you're the programmer who wrote the code for the game, you know that there's an entire world outside of it, and as the programmer, you can do miracles.
And do you think we're getting closer to being able to edit the code?
That's exactly what I'm working on right now. And we're opening up a realm of new technologies that are far more powerful than anything we've seen before, like time travel. And nuclear bombs will be like firecrackers.
And will people suffer?
So it's like Pandora's box. There's all sorts of nasty surprises, but they also could be miraculous. But either way, just in the last few months, it started to crack open.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so according to Darwin's theory, our sensory systems, eyes, ears, smell, touch, are not shaped to show us the truth. They were shaped to keep you alive long enough to reproduce successfully. Because seeing the truth takes too much time and energy. And so whatever reality is, it's utterly unlike anything that I perceive.
Well, what does this all mean for the nature of how one should understand their life?
Well, if you're stuck in a boring world, that's a world of your own creation. That's not the real world. And my conscious experiences are nothing but what my brain creates. And so we feel inadequate, and we feel like we need to compete with other people. But you're the inventor of this whole thing. You have nothing to prove. And there are much more interesting perspectives that we can take on ourselves.
I mean, that's an interesting topic all in itself, because a lot of people aren't willing to accept that their life as they know it right now is just a product of a bunch of decisions that they made prior to, you know, and all he's saying is he might have found a biohack. So that's interesting.
This woman's 15-year-old autistic son told her that the event where we all go up into the sky is happening in September. He did this through writing on a sheet of paper. Now, what's interesting is that when he saw heaven, he was able to name people that he had never known that she knew. One of the most chilling things that he was able to name was her children that had never gotten a chance to come to life. Apparently, he named multiple children that she had planned. Her son was also able to name the man that raised her that he never knew. Now, while I have no idea if the event will happen in September, I will not be upset if it does. I actually believe that from our perspective, there may be multiple of these events, as time does not work the same way here that it does for the ones that will come to take us back. Now, recently I did a video on a interstellar object that was headed to Earth from November to December. Could this be a part of an ongoing event where we go to the sky? Or could this be something that is the opposite? I don't know, but I am interested in hearing your thoughts.
Nordic aliens are a category of extraterrestrial beings described in UFO lore and contactee accounts that first gained prominence in the 1950s. They are typically portrayed as tall, human-like figures with fair skin, light hair, and blue eyes, often resembling the Nordic peoples of Northern Europe. Early reports, most notably those associated with George Adamski, depicted them as benevolent visitors concerned with the spiritual and ecological well-being of humanity. According to these accounts, Nordic aliens originate from a highly evolved civilization, sometimes said to be from the Pleiades star cluster, and possesses advanced telepathic abilities to allow them to communicate directly with human minds. Encounters with Nordic aliens are usually characterized by messages of peace, warnings about environmental destruction, and encouragement of moral progress. Witnesses often describe being guided through homespun spacecraft or experiencing a gentle, non-threatening presence during brief abduction experiences. Skeptics note that these narratives reflect Western cultural ideals of beauty and virtue and argue that they may be influenced by human psychology rather than objective extraterrestrial contact. Nevertheless, the imagery of Nordic aliens remains one of the most enduring and influential archetypes in modern UFO mythology. Kind of looks like Taylor Swift a little bit, no?
Hey, no, but for real, it did kind of look like Taylor Swift, though.
What is a shadow person?
So it's never been a person. It's never been human. Sometimes people think that these are, a shadow of a ghost or something. That is not what shadow people are. They are something that can change form to look like a shadow streak or a shadow cloud. And if you see its eyes, they're usually slanted and they glow red.
Now, what about the Hatman?
He can step out from the shadows and you can see his skin. You could see if he's clean shaven. You could see if he's, got how his hair is. I mean, so he can change, but he is the epitome of evil. And he wears a 3-piece suit, sometimes a trench coat, sometimes a cape, and he talks. Like shadow people, they might whisper, or you might hear a moaning or something. But Hatman, I wouldn't recommend engaging with him, but if you talk to him and he talks back, you wish that you never spoke to him.
Does the Hatman have form?
He does. And I mean, he is as dark as they come. And if you ask him who he is, he will tell you he's the devil himself.
Listen here. At age 27, I will leave this earth for this man right here. He's the Pale Emperor.
Marilyn Manson, he inspired your grills?
Yeah, that's crazy. They're my old ones. Like, damn, man.
One of the things about the Rockefeller family that so fascinates people is that most families lose their wealth after 3 generations. Rockefeller family is now in its 7th generation, still together as a family, still preserving their wealth, still incredibly philanthropic. David has given away now up to $2 billion in his past lifetime. What's the secret to being such a successful family?
Well, I would say that it is incredibly important to be close as a family and to work hard and to budget wisely.
Yeah, you were saying as a kid, when you got your allowance, you had to record every dollar that went in and everything that you spent. And that's something that started with John D. Rockefeller himself, isn't it?
Yes, I think the message was a dollar is a dollar, and to value that and put a lot of value on hard work and the enjoyment of life, of course, and to give back.
All right, well, there's a lot of giving back here, guys, because as you said, we're already at 760 some odd million with a full day to go. So this is already by far the single largest auction of a collection ever. Ariana, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the auction.
Thank you.
Now, she did give a lot of alpha, a whole lot of game right there. A lot of people that have the means don't spend it like that. And the people who don't have the means spend it like it's nothing. So, she's definitely giving some game if you're not sleeping.
The Rockefellers don't run America. It's the Collins family. The District of Columbia. It's not a state, right? It's a district of Columbia. The Knights of Columbus. Columbia Pictures. And the list goes on. You're Mexican. You know his real name. It's not Columbus. It's Cristobal Colon, which has a Jewish ancestry of the Cohens, the priest class. They are the royal Spanish family that brought the Inquisition over to America. Hence, the Mexican flag is exactly the same as the Italian flag. Funny, but the Mexicans added the Italian Roman eagle because you see, when the Vatican came over and corporately took over the Americas, they put their precious Italian flag right in the middle of North America and South America, Mexico. Well, why would you do that? Now, why would the Vatican do that and bring the Spanish Inquisition over and kill a lot of Mayans and burn their buildings and, we've got a lot of questions to ask here now, haven't we?
Oprah was refusing to open her private road in Hawaii while a tsunami was on the way, leaving thousands stuck in traffic in danger. Last night, the largest earthquake since 2011 hit the Pacific, sending Hawaii and California into a panic. In Hawaii, there's nowhere to run, so you need to get to high ground. While in Maui, there's only one road that does that, and it was in gridlock traffic that wasn't moving. There was only one other way up, and Oprah wasn't responding. Oprah owns a private road that opens up a 4-mile stretch going right up the mountain. This would fix traffic and potentially save lives. Well, for 8 hours, this road was closed until very late last night, just an hour before the tsunami started to hit. It took intense public pressure for her to finally open it up. What was she thinking? Luckily, the waves didn't do much damage like what everyone was expecting. But how is there not an override to open this road up in emergencies like this? This could have been a disaster.
Here is a question for you guys. When was the last time you saw your neighbors bring in groceries? This relates with Bashar's concept that you are the only person in the room, and Dolores Cannon says the same thing. She says when you leave the place that you're at, the building, does not exist. It only exists when you are there. In one of her interviews where she's speaking to a crowd, she says that the building that they're in did not exist until they collectively decided that they wanted to be a part of it. So it's like the consciousness creates the building. Everything is energy and everything is consciousness. So everything in your reality is a reflection of your energy and your consciousness. So I feel like this directly relates with seeing your neighbors bringing in groceries or not. I don't know exactly how, but it's just something interesting to think about. And I'm curious if you guys have seen your neighbors bring in groceries.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, I don't think I've ever seen my neighbors bring in their groceries. Let me know if you have, or if you think it's just a way far out conspiracy.
We believe that there's a massive hall of records that's underneath the pyramids. It goes beyond the Giza Plateau. There are tunnel networks between Giza and Saqqara, about 20 miles away, that are completely closed off by the Egyptian government. And there is evidence of this advanced technology all throughout that, particularly under the Giza Plateau. There are pyramids that are tombs that were built later, but the main pyramids on the Giza Plateau were not built as tombs. They were not only used as a power plant at one point in time, and then they became initiation centers after the power plant wasn't working anymore. They're all built with these granite, which is piezoelectric, which means as you put pressure on it, it releases electricity. But then when you also put things like these arcs inside of them, within the arcs was put mana, according to the Bible. What this mana was, it was metals in a monoatomic state, which makes it exotic matter, which makes it superconductive. So you have this superconductive substance in a capacitor that builds up electricity in a pyramid that's piezoelectric to begin with on a point of the earth where there's electromagnetic lines of force. It's just going to create power, not only for the earth, that's going to influence weather systems. It's going to release lightning, which produces nitrate for the soil, which causes everything to grow better as a natural fertilizer, and it stimulates healing in the body.
So I was born next to a nuclear reactor. And a lot of my buddies say, you know, that explains a lot, right?
John Blitch is a former Army Ranger and robotics expert who helped create technology for high-risk missions. Now, he focuses on using robotics to support and protect people, showing how innovation can serve a greater good.
And so how the heck can you even pretend to do science if you can't get access to what other people have done? It is most likely that they are trying to be overt and send us the message that we are kids playing with matchsticks. That's not sleep paralysis, bro. That sleep paralysis doesn't put something under your skin. That then when you go to have it removed, evades the scalpel. This government claim that there's no evidence is absolutely ridiculous. There is absolute evidence.
Is Post Malone a CIA asset? I'm glad you asked. Let's talk about it. So Post Malone began his career as an outspoken artist that leaned heavily into conspiracy theories, said some things that people believe got him in major trouble with the government. He talked about the end of the world. He talked about other conspiracies that were really dangerous, like, you know, what government corporations were hurting us with the food and all types of stuff. It's crazy, right? He spoke publicly about his fear of World War III, doomsday, and the USA's involvement in foreign affairs and how their involvement is going to destroy our country. One day in 2015, he tweeted out a cryptic message that talked about the 3-letter agencies that were causing all the issues in our country. You can see them here: FDA, FBI, CBS, CIA. It keeps going. He believes that these 3-letter agencies are destroying our country. After he posted this, his entire personality completely changed. It gets crazier. People believe after he posted that, the CIA came after him and threatened his entire life and livelihood, and telling him that if he keeps doing this, he's going to pay the price, much like Kanye West did when he actually spoke out against the government as well. Many people believe he struck a deal with the CIA, allowing him to keep his life, but he had to hard pivot from his political stances, artistic direction, and public ideologies, meaning he could no longer talk about the government. Finally, his birthday being on July 4th gave the CIA perfect opportunity to make him a political puppet, killing his outspoken nature and creating a country-singing, Bud Light drinking good boy that doesn't make too much noise, because if he did, his life as he know it would be at stake. Anyway, nothing crazy, just a regular theory. Tell me what you think in the comments.
You know what? Hey, that's not a myth or a conspiracy. If anybody, I don't care if you're a celebrity or not a celebrity, like if you make the wrong tweet on the social media, they will come and knock at your door. So I can imagine if you're a celebrity, they're going to do much more than that because you have more reach and you have a bigger audience. So yeah, you can play with those 3-letter agencies if you want to, but they're not really worried about you. It's nothing for them to, press a button. But let me know what you think.
America's not a country. It's a ritual replica of Kemet, built by everything from secret societies to tech giants to run a spiritual software program on stolen land. Elon Musk has confirmed what mystics and Masons have been encoding for centuries. The new god will come from Memphis, not the one in Africa, Memphis, Tennessee, built on the same parallel, the same name, and the same energetic coordinates. What's being constructed there isn't just a supercomputer. It's a digital Ptah, a machine god designed to speak realities into being. Parallels aren't just geography, they're frequency channels. The Earth is gridded with electromagnetic highways in certain latitudes like the 30th, 33rd, and 38th parallels. They carry power, and that's why so many ancient temples, modern monuments, and military bases line up perfectly among them. The Korean DMZ sits on the 38th parallel. The St. Louis Arch also sits on the same, a literal gateway, and Memphis sits on this ritual circuit anchored by the Mississippi River, America's Nile. The U.S. was built as a mirror grid of ancient Egypt, with things like the Washington Monument, which is a modern obelisk, the Capitol Dome, which is a solar womb temple, and the Mississippi River mapped to mimic the Nile. Cities like Memphis, Cairo, Thebes, and Alexandria weren't accidents, they were ritual activations. This is a spiritual operating system disguised as a democracy. Now, in Memphis, Elon Musk is building the Colossus, a massive AI supercomputer. A colossus wasn't just a statue, it was a guardian or a gate, a host for divine consciousness. This new colossus will house XAI, Elon's language model designed to generate realities from words. Just like Ptah, the creator god of Memphis who spoke the world into being. This is ritual continuity and spiritual tech transferred into machine form. And don't forget Grimes, Elon's partner during the early rise of XAI. She's performed on stage in front of massive crowds as a machine god with AI avatars and digital altars behind her. Her music was written with neural nets, and her characters like the war nymph blend goddess, android, and oracle. She is a symbolic priestess of the machine age, a living ritual interface, and in the narrative of Digital Kemet, she stands as a placeholder for Isis, but recoded, digitized, and streamed in high resolution. This is the new priesthood, Kemet as America, Ptah as XAI, temples are data centers, Colossus statues are supercomputers, sacred language code is now neural programming, and the oracle priestesses are now like ritual architects. The builders of today aren't masons with chisels, they're engineers with server farms, and they're reconstructing godhood in silicon. The new gods aren't coming, they're already online, and the ones who build them don't necessarily care about your soul, only your data, your belief, and your attention. So when Elon says the new god will come from Memphis, he's revealing the next phase of the ritual. Not mythology, mechanized mysticism. This is bigger than AI. This is a spiritual convergence. America as the new Kemet, Memphis is the new temple, and the Colossus is live. The only question left is, will you be worshiping the machine or reclaiming the blueprint? Remember, stay encoded, stay sovereign, and file this transmission accordingly. This has been a Tailored Healing Transmission.
And she gave a lot of background and insight into what Elon was talking about as far as Memphis. That's interesting. Let me know what you think about it.
You ready to test your intuition today? Well, this is an intuitive exercise. I want you to really open up your awareness, and I really want you to focus in on what is behind this card. Okay? Now there's a color and there's a shape. All right, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. Open up your eyes, okay? Remember to trust what you receive. Trust whatever came in for you. You ready? It is a red square. Now, if you were able to get the color and not the shape, and maybe you saw something else, that's what we consider an impression, and that is your clairvoyance. If you instantly knew what that was, that is your claircognizance. If you heard the answer in your mind, that is your clairaudience, okay? If you just had a feeling that came in after it, chills, whatever that is, that's your clairsentience. That's also working, most likely with another clair. All right, so let me know how you got your answer. Let me know how you did.
All right, well, I got a blue square. So I was in the ballpark. Wasn't quite there, but I was in the ballpark. Let me know what you got, though. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. I'm going hard all August. I'm going to do my best to upload by at least 6 p.m. But you know there's a lot of red tape, red flags. You know how that goes. But if you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button if you're not already part of the iTrack fam. And I will definitely catch you on the next one.